Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at a database of institutional private credit and debt investors. To be clear, this is the who's who of institutional investors featuring 7,800 plus verified global firms deploying capital into the private credit and debt sector. The ultimate global institutional private credit and debt investors database. So this presentation introduces an exclusive verified database of 7,800 global institutional investors actively deploying capital across private credit and private debt strategies. Now you're going to see the Excel spreadsheet coming up a little bit later on in the video. It's going to give you a detailed description. Now it's compiled and confirmed institutional records and fully updated for 2024 to 2025. It provides a definitive view of the world's leading allocators within the private lending ecosystem. Now, the database covers sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, insurers, asset managers, banks, fund of funds, endowments, superannuation schemes, and family offices, each verified as an active participant in direct lending, mezzanine finance, distressed, and structured credit. Now, unlike broad investor lists, this dataset isolates institutions with confirmed mandates, live deployment programs, and active portfolio exposure, delivering actionable intelligence for fund managers, lenders, and advisors seeking institutional partnerships or commitments. It offers institutional-grade insights that improve fundraising precision, speed up origination, and connect you directly with the decision makers driving the private credit market. Key database components. This unique database of institutional investors in private credit and debt includes 7,800 institutional private credit and debt investors, 52,900 key contacts, and that includes 34,500 emails of those contacts, and it includes a key description of firms, websites, company emails, and more. So why this database is unique? Well, it's designed for accessing global institutional private credit and debt investors. Firstly, curated for active private credit capital deployment. Purpose-built for fund managers, originators, and advisors engaging institutional investors actively allocating to private credit and debt markets. This data set test. So why this database is unique? Well, it's designed for accessing global institutional private credit and debt investors. Firstly, it's curated for active private credit capital deployment, purpose-built for fund managers, originators, and advisors engaging institutional investors actively allocating to private credit and debt markets. Now, this data set excludes passive funds and inactive listings, focusing only on 1, active allocators, 2, targeted relevance, and 3, deal alignment. So ideally, this is investors that are deploying 50 to 500 million across direct lending, mezzanine, structured credit, and special situations. Secondly, proprietary, verified, and institutional grade. So this is a professionally curated database of over 7,800 verified institutional investors, and it's been compiled from 2 of my master databases, which are institutional and confirmed records of 24 to 2025 disclosures. So it's probably the best private credit database that you're going to find, highly sought after. Comprehensive profile, so you're going to get fund types, assets under management, strategy focus, instruments, and regional exposure. Verified accuracy includes only active allocators, recently updated, so again this is 2024 to 2025 updates. And thirdly, you're going to be able to accelerate access to institutional private credit capital. Gain a measurable edge by connecting directly with institutional allocators, eliminate guesswork, so you're only engaging with verified institutions confirmed to allocate to private credit, and mostly important, save time. All my databases, really, that's what I'm doing for you. I've been taking years to develop databases. I've been doing this for a long time. I have the largest collection of institutional databases that you're going to find because I'm using 2 major sources plus other databases that I've been using over time. So really all I'm doing is saving you time so you can move directly from research to outreach with ready to engage profiles. And again, institutional credibility at the end of the day. It's designed for professional users, fund managers, originators, and advisors. So touching on that again, who can benefit from the database? Fundraisers and capital advisors at the top for professionals raising capital across private credit, private equity, and alternative lending. Connect with pension funds, insurers, sovereign wealth funds, and endowments, allocating to direct lending, mezzanine financing, and credit funds. So it's ideal for placement agents and capital advisors seeking verified institutional leads. Secondly, fund managers, originators, and corporate lenders. So for fund managers, private credit sponsors, and direct lending platforms pursuing institutional partners, covers mandates across senior, unitranche, mezzanine, and structured credit strategies worldwide. Perfect for sourcing LP commitments, co-investors, and institutional syndication partners. Thirdly, strategic advisors and institutional consultants. So for consultants and fundraising strategists managing cross-sector mandates, you can access verified allocators focused on yield-driven and opportunistic credit portfolios. It streamlines institutional outreach with actionable investor intelligence. And lastly, cross-border credit and capital connectors for professionals structuring international credit partnerships or fund placements. Covers North America, Europe, Middle East, Asia Pacific with verified capital allocators. So it enables seamless introductions to the global private credit investors. So let's take a look at the database. First, a key database disclosure. I like to add this to all my videos. My extensive database library provides hundreds of thousands of global contacts, typically including profiles, emails, and websites, though not all details are complete. Now, it's primarily compiled and updated from 2021 to 2025, with most of the key updates in the last couple of years. Now, this corporate resource may include contacts whose roles have since changed. It's designed as an excellent starting point for outreach. It's best leveraged and continually refined by organizations with dedicated data teams. To be clear, this is not a database that you use to spam. This is a research database for you to really target it on who your potential investment opportunities are going to come from. So this database comprises a blend of individuals and companies, each with distinct investment criteria and operating condition. So there's no guarantee your approach will be favorably received. Note, this database is available to corporate or groups only, no personal sales. Okay, now we're over on the spreadsheet part, and I'm going to show you three sheets. One is the private credit and debt investor sheet. The second one is going to be the contact sheet, and then I'm going to highlight the Excel spreadsheet with a little bit more information about their allocations and their strategy. But first we're going to start off with the general one. So this is the private credit investor 7,880. So those are the ones that have indicated yes, that they do invest in private credit and debt. And you can see you're going to get their firm name. You're going to get information about their background as well. So you'll be able to filter some more details on that one. Then you're going to get information about the firm type. For example, it could be a bank, corporate investor, insurance company, public pension fund, asset manager, private equity group, so on. Then you're going to get information regarding their address. Again, it's a global database. And as we scroll over a little bit further to the right, you're going to get their website, you're going to get their company email address, and some more information in regard to allocations and strategy are further on the right-hand side. We'll get to that sheet coming up. But let's start off with the contacts. So in this database, you've got about 56,700 contacts, of which there are around 35,000 emails. So basically, if we go back up to the top, again, you're getting the company name, you're getting the firm type, you're getting the name of the person to contact, their role, and their job title. So this helps you streamline a little bit more of your search, so you can make sure that you're reaching the right person. Because you have some entries that do not have email, well, the easiest way to contact them is just take their name, punch it into LinkedIn, and you're going to get about a 98% hit on those. Because this is an updated database and this is obviously institutional corporate. That's the preferred way a lot of these contacts like to have you reach out. That's why when you go to their websites, you may get their names, you won't get their emails unless you have a database like the one I have here. But LinkedIn is certainly the second choice that you would use in addition to the emails on this database. So that's going to give you a pretty good idea of the contacts. And many of these are going to have multiple contacts. So even if you want to use email, you're probably going to find a number of them that are going to be suitable for you. And again, because you're looking at private debt, this database helps you define and refine who you want to reach out to. So it's pretty comprehensive. Again, this is a 24-25 updated institutional grade database. Now let's take a look at the private credit highlights. So I've done a little bit of filtering for you on that. So again, this is the same spreadsheet as the first one we looked at. The only difference is if we scroll a little bit further to the right, you can see that you're going to get a little bit more information on what they're looking for as far as allocating. You can see investing in private debt. 95% of them are saying yes. I've left the considering in there as well, just for reference sakes. Now, not all these fields are going to be filled out. I would suspect that at least 10% in some of the categories, and a little more than 50% in others. So no database is going to have it 100%, but you're going to be able to get a very good idea of what their allocations are as far as percentages and minimum. Now, what I also have on this for display purposes is the strategy preferences. For example, it could be direct lending, distressed debt, real estate debt, so on and so on. You've got their geographic preference. You've got the industries that they like to take a look at. For example, it could be marketing, advertising, real estate, telecoms, whatever it may be. You can see quite a bit of these columns are going to be filled out. You're going to get information on the industry verticals, whether they co-invest, and then I've left in this one here what their next 12-month strategy is and the 12 months regions. Now, keep in mind that some of these have been fully updated in 2024. Most of the time, the strategy doesn't change. In other words, if they're looking to invest in private debt in 2024, the odds are that's going to be continued to 2025 and 2026, because these type of programs do tend to look at longer term frames as far as their investment strategy. So that concludes the database for the private credit and private debt investors. So this is a great resource for you if you're looking to source good capital for 2025, 2026 and beyond. Now, if you're looking for something a little bit bigger, for larger capital raises, my verified database of 24,000 global funds is perfect. It's all the funds raised since 2022, and it has 400 fundraising executives, 277,000 emails. Again, it's a large capital raises. Think anywhere from 3 million to 100 million coverage across all regions, asset classes, and strategies, and it's the most complete global capital access tool available. I've got videos on this, and it is up to date as of the quarter of 2025. For more information, contact DubaiInvestorsList.com. That's DubaiInvestorsList.com. Please like, share, and subscribe.